We live in a world where society feels that our kids have to adapt to them, and that's what inclusion is, instead of the world changing to adapt to people with disabilities. For example, I saw a cartoon years ago where there was a gentleman in a wheelchair and it had just snowed, and there was a ramp covered in snow and a guy that was shoveling, and the guy was shoveling steps, and there's a whole bunch of people there that could walk, and so he's shoveling the steps, and the guy in the wheelchair goes, "Hey, can you shovel the ramp?" And he goes, "There's more of them than there are of you." But the whole point of that cartoon was if he shoveled the ramp, then everybody would have access. So one of my biggest pet peeves are hotels. I usually will book hotels or Airbnbs well in advance so I can make sure that we have a handicap accessible room or home. My son had surgery 2 weeks ago. We stayed at a Marriott. I did my due diligence. I did my research. I found a hotel in the area that had what we needed. So I booked it 3 weeks in advance. When we got there, they put us in the wrong room. So I went down and I was like, "Look, this isn't the room I booked. See?" And she tried to convince me that a regular shower was a roll-in shower. Was not. Had the lip, had the glass door. No way I was getting that chair in there. So she took me to a room that had a roll-in shower, but I couldn't get Josh's chair in the room. Like I literally, how they had the door and the dresser and the bed, there's no way that kid was getting in that room. So we finally got into the accessible room, but it took a couple days. Here's the thing. If hotels, when they start doing renovations and they start building new hotels, make all of the rooms accessible. Have half of them accessible bathtubs, half of them accessible showers, because then everybody can use it. So I did talk to an executive about a year ago about this because it is an ongoing problem. And you know what they said to me? They said, "Well, most people don't like the way that the roll-in showers feel on their feet. So we choose to not make a lot of those." So most hotels have 2 to 4 roll-in showers for the entire hotel. So if somebody that's not in a wheelchair has that, then you're out of luck. So, and I just looked at that executive and I said, "But here's the thing. People in wheelchairs, they can't actually bathe. Whereas the other people, they're just unhappy that they don't like the way their feet feel." There's a difference there. So instead of trying to make people with disabilities adapt to society, how about we make adaptations to society so people with disabilities can access the world like everybody else? That's just one thing. You all know there are so many things out there that need to be changed. What is one accessibility issue that you have that you think really needs to be addressed and changed? Put it in the comments.